Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Fluency Seekers Podcast.
Today we're focusing on everyday English expressions that talk about relationships, memories, habits, and change.
Yep, and we're breaking down 4 very useful expressions: walk out on, think back on, look up on, and cut down on, with natural conversations, for example sentences, role plays, mini scenes, and a full recap at the end.
Let's get started.
First one is walk out on. Walk out on means to leave someone or something suddenly, often in an emotional or irresponsible way.
It's commonly used with relationships, jobs, or important situations.
And it usually carries a negative feeling. Example sentences. He walked out on his family without any explanation.
She walked out on her job after the argument.
For example, I can't believe he walked out on the project halfway through.
Mini role play.
What happened to Mark?
He walked out on the team during the deadline week.
That must have caused a lot of problems.
Culture notes. In English, this phrase often implies emotional impact or disappointment.
Yes, it's not just leaving, it's leaving badly.
Second one is think back on.
Think back on means to remember or reflect on something from the past.
It's often used when talking about memories, experiences, or life lessons.
For example, I like to think back on my school days.
She thought back on the advice her mother gave her.
For example, when I think back on that time, I feel proud.
Natural conversation. This phrase is reflective and emotional.
Yes, it's very common in storytelling and personal conversations.
Mini role play.
Do you ever miss university?
Yes, when I think back on those years, they were really special.
I feel the same way.
Third one is look up on.
Look up on means to search for information about something, usually using the internet, a phone, or a reference source.
It's used when you want to learn more about a topic or check facts.
For example, I looked up on the internet to find the restaurant menu.
She looked up on her phone to check the flight time.
For example, he looked up on the website before buying the product.
Extended conversation. People do this constantly without thinking about it.
Yes, it's part of daily life now.
Mini role play.
How did you know the answer so fast?
I looked up on my phone during the break.
That makes sense.
Language note.
In casual speech, people often shorten this to look it up, but the meaning stays the same.
Last but not least, cut down on.
Cut down on means to reduce the amount of something you do or use.
It's very common when talking about health, habits, or spending.
For example, I'm trying to cut down on sugar.
He cut down on screen time before bed.
For example, we need to cut down on unnecessary expenses.
Natural conversation. This phrase is about improvement and control.
Exactly. It often shows effort or self-discipline.
Mini role play.
You've stopped drinking soda.
Yeah, I'm cutting down on sugar.
Good for you.
Mini recap story. Let's bring all 4 expressions together in one natural story. Last year, my friend walked out on his job after a stressful period. Months later, he began to think back on that decision more carefully. Before choosing a new career, he looked up on several websites to research his options. At the same time, he decided to cut down on stress and focus on a healthier lifestyle.
That story connects all 4 expressions naturally.
Final phrase recap.
Walk out on, leave someone or something suddenly and negatively.
Think back on, reflect on past experiences.
Look up on, search for information about something.
Cut down on, reduce the amount of something.
Try using these expressions today in your own conversations.
Thanks for spending your time with us.
Keep practicing, keep speaking, and keep seeking fluency.
See you next episode.